We have two interesting early Gibson 18-inch Archtop guitars. This one here is a early 1935 guitar labeled as an L5 Special. The L5 at that time had recently been upgraded from a 16-inch guitar to their so-called advanced body 17-inch model. But this is an 18-inch wide guitar. Now, later in the year, the Super 400 model was introduced, but this guitar precedes the Super 400. It has a body shape with an upper bout the same as on the 17-inch wide L5 advanced model, but has an 18-inch lower bout. We got this instrument from the granddaughter of the original owner, who worked at Gibson as a product tester. He got the guitar new, used it, and kept it for the rest of his life. But over the years, it was modified a bit. Since he worked at Gibson, he was able to get upgrades. Originally, the family photos show this guitar with a sunburst finish on the top. It now is natural blonde. It had a earlier designed tailpiece. And in '41, it was reworked to have the natural finish on the top and the later tailpiece. Also a later pick guard, 41, and tuners, whereas the original tuners were open back and engraved. It still has the sunburst finish on the neck, back, and sides. And he had set it up with a strap button on the heel of the neck. But this type tailpiece here came out first in '39 with an adjustable tension setting for how much tension downward you could have. And frankly, that's a design that most makers aren't using anymore. But it tends to squash the top in here, where if you adjust it down to raise the action of the tailpiece angle slightly, you can risk mashing the top a bit. But it's an interesting piece of history because this is the earliest known 18-inch F-hole archtop guitar ever made by any maker. It was not long after this that Gibson introduced the Super 400, which looks, in its earliest version, like this. This one was made in '36, but it looks just like the 1935 model. Engraved, gold-plated Grover gears, Super 400 logo on the heel cap, engraved, a marble grain pearlescent pick guard, a hinged tailpiece with engraving. And note the size of the F-holes. These F-holes are the same as on the 17-inch L5, but look how much longer and different shape the F-holes are on the early Super 400. And this also evolved over time. By the late 30s, the F-holes on the Super 400 were slightly shorter than this. And this small upper bout, which you'll notice is not the same shape, similar size upper bout, but same shape. This Super 400 has a more curved upper bout, whereas at the neck joint, this L5 Special has a more flattened shape. They are not identical. This shape exists basically just on this one sample. There's no evidence that any more like this were ever made. But this is still the predecessor of the Super 400. Historically, this is a very important guitar. It's a great guitar, but it also led to this, which stayed in the line for many, many years. Gibson still makes Super 400s, although most of the Super 400s they make today have pickups on them. They still make an 18-inch wide Super 400 with this type ornamentation. But by 37, the upper bout was widened on the Super 400 and the F-holes were shortened a bit. This particular guitar has a bit of history to it. Sammy Pruitt, who played with Hank Williams Sr., owned this guitar, and later he played with George Morgan and other performers. He was a backup man, so he wasn't so much the star performer, but he sure played with them. And this guitar has quite a history, playing great music with some of the truly great performers of country music.